This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We are only a couple of days away from Judgment Day, if you want to call it that. Usyk Joshua 2, the World Heavyweight Unified titles on the line. I'm joined by a critical member of Team Anthony Joshua, Robert Garcia. What's the mood, the general feeling of Team Joshua this week?
You know what? I'm actually a little surprised because the whole team, not just Anthony Joshua, but the whole team, everybody involved, myself, Angel Fernandez, we're very confident. We feel very positive. There's a lot of energy in the team, and normally any other training camp with other fighters, the fight week is probably one of the hardest because most of the fighters have to cut weight. So with heavyweights, there's not that need to cut weight. The hard workouts we already done them. So Anthony's in great spirit. That's what I've been noticing. So that's the difference between other camps where fight week fighters don't want to be talking to nobody. They want to be taking pictures. They don't want to be doing interviews because they're tired. They want to go rest. They got to go make weight. They're not eating as much. They're not drinking as much water. So that's a big difference. So with this camp, everybody, we're having breakfast together and everybody's happy. Everybody's enjoying it. Everybody's very confident, very positive.
That's very good to hear. There was a notable moment yesterday at the press conference. It was coming to an end, and Anthony just said, "Hang on, before you end, I just want to make a point and thank my sparring partners." And fighters don't really do that at press conferences. He wanted to make a point of it. So I just want you to talk to me a little bit. I know you can't talk about ins and outs of sparring, but how has sparring's been and some of the sparring partners you've used?
You know what? That's one thing that I had never heard before. Obviously every champion, every fighter, every star mentions how great a shape they are. They thank everybody. But that's the last person they thank, and I'm happy that AJ did that because the sparring partners are the main guys that are there. Some of them are there to take beatings, some of them are there to get knocked out because it happens a few times. It happened a couple of times in our camp where there was a few guys that got knocked out. But I'm happy that Anthony gave them recognition because if it wasn't for them, fighters wouldn't get ready. And then after Anthony, Usyk brought it up too, because he noticed and he figured that sparring partners do deserve credit and deserve to be mentioned because they do play a big role in training camps.
Robert, of course, this is your first fight with Anthony, and I guess the skeptics are saying, regardless of the trainer, whoever it is, that one camp isn't enough to overhaul this defeat over Alexander Usyk. So what would you say to the naysayers that even though they respect you as a trainer, see you as one of the best trainers in world boxing, that simply because you just had one camp with Anthony Joshua, it's not enough time?
You know what? This is not the first time that something like this happens to me. If you guys go back to my record as a trainer, earlier in my career, I got in Brian Viloria, who was a former Olympian and a former champion, but had already lost, had already been beaten, and nobody gave $1 for him. Nobody really cared about him, and he came to me, and we trained, and we won a title together. So that was the first sign of, the kind of energy I bring to my fighters. Then came Marcos Maidana, who actually wanted to retire after losing to Devin Alexander. He lost, he didn't want to fight anymore, he wanted to retire. I brought him back and look at the fights that he gave. He beat Broner. He had 2 great fights with Mayweather. And the most recent one I could say is Abner Mares. Abner Mares was also one of the guys that people didn't really count on anymore. I got so many calls from people telling me, don't take him on. He's finished. Johnny Gonzalez knocked him out pretty cold, and he shouldn't be fighting anymore. He's too busy doing other stuff. But he came to me, and our first fight together, we fought for the world title against Jesus Cuellar, who nobody gave us a chance, and Abner beat him. So we're going to the same situation right now with Anthony. If the fighter believes in the team, in the trainer, then anything's possible. That happened with Abner Mares. That happened with Viloria. That happened with Maidana. So why wouldn't it be able to happen with Anthony? If Anthony believes in his team, believes in not only myself but the rest of the team, all the hard work that we did, and he believes in himself, he could definitely win this fight.
That's very well answered with the real life examples that you've gone through before. One more in terms of the skeptics. So last time out, you had Ron McCracken, Joby Clayton, and obviously Angel was in the corner as well. And on the TV broadcast, we could hear numerous voices talking throughout the fight to Joshua. And Anthony's made some comments saying that my corner really never told me that I was doing anything wrong, and hence I fought the way I did from start to finish because I thought, in his words, I was essentially winning the fight. So my question is, obviously yourself and Angel will be in the corner for Anthony this Saturday night. How's that dynamic going to work? Is there going to be one person pushing instructions? Are both of you going to be pushing instructions? Are you going to switch? Can you just give us a little bit of an insight how that's going to pan out and work?
See, the thing is that with Angel and myself, we're both on the same page. So it doesn't matter if I talk first or if he talks first or I talk second or if I stay quiet and I let him talk. It doesn't matter because the instructions are going to be the same. We're both, since the beginning, since day one, since last October when we talked and we met, we were both in agreements to how Anthony needs to fight to be able to win, and we both have the same ideas. So when the bell rings, if inside the ring is Angel, and maybe I could be outside and I could give my opinion, but then Angel says something similar right after me, it's not going to matter because we're both going to be on the same page. We already know what Anthony needs, and we know the instructions that Anthony needs. We got to tell him if he's making mistakes, if he's losing the rounds, we got to tell him, and we got to tell him what he needs to do to win. At the end of the day, it's not just me. It's not a secret. Everybody knows what Anthony needs to do to win this fight. Everybody's talking about it. A lot of people don't think he's capable of doing it because of Usyk's skills and Usyk's speed and combinations, or a lot of people think it's all in Anthony's head, his heart. But the work that we did in training, the spirit that he has right now, the mentality that he has, he's going to go out there and do it. That's the feeling I have, and the work is already done. Now we just have to go do it, and I think he's peaking at the right moment.
I've heard yourself, I've heard Anthony, I've heard Angel speak throughout the build-up this week, and you all sound very confident, as you would. Are people making a mistake writing Anthony Joshua off?
Well, you know what? Not that they're making a mistake, because obviously most of the people are boxing people that know boxing, and they've seen Anthony's last performance, so they're going based on that. It's just part of boxing. That's just the way boxing is. If you have a bad performance, that's what everybody's going to be talking about, and that's what everybody's going to remember you for, your last bad performance. But with so many things that went wrong in the first camp, I'm not saying he had a bad trainer. He was an Olympic gold medalist, two-time heavyweight champion of the world, so there's nothing wrong about his former trainer. But sometimes sometimes fighters do need a change just to get a different voice, maybe a little more motivation. Maybe the trainer got too comfortable, because it does happen. When a trainer's had a fighter for so long and they become friends, they become too comfortable. Maybe they want to push them. Maybe they don't want to hurt them. Maybe they don't want to get them mad, and that's a mistake. You have to always make sure your fighter respects you and respects your decisions. Maybe that was the situation. Not to take anything away from his former trainer. He did a great job, man, throughout his career. Everything that he did was great. Except for the last couple of fights where maybe they didn't have the same energy with each other, and that's why sometimes a change is needed.
Not sure if you've seen Usyk up close this week, but obviously there was a lot of reports going around that he's put on 15 kilos and bulked up. After seeing him this week, do you believe those reports, and what do you make of his size?
No, I seen him at the media workout. I didn't see him work out because we went straight to our room after we finished our workout. But then on the way out, he walked right by me. I actually shook his hand because I know him. He used to train in my gym in Oxnard, so I know him. But he's he's not as tall as Anthony, so he didn't look too big in height, but his shoulders look pretty big. From pictures, I think there was a picture that we seen maybe 3-4 weeks ago. He looked really big from his body, but to me, I thought, yeah, he still got four more weeks. He's gonna lose a few pounds. to be light and the way he normally fights. But he does look a little bit bigger. Maybe he's trying to. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to do more of a. I'm looking forward that he thinks it's going to be more of a physical fight. So he wants to be ready to be strong enough to be able to hang in there if there's a physical fight, especially knowing that they know me from many years, training Klima's fighters for so many years, making a few champions that he manages. They know my style, so they probably they're thinking I'm gonna make it into a physical fight, and maybe we are. We don't know what's gonna happen when the bell rings, but they're ready for it. I think they're ready for whatever we come and bring. But it's gonna be a great fight.
Okay, well, look, listen, Robert Garcia, it's Thursday evening, got the weigh-in tomorrow and fight night, so I appreciate your time on IFL TV. I'll let you go, but one last question. Is your man Anthony Joshua capable of knocking out Alexander Usyk this Saturday night in Saudi Arabia?
You know what? 100%. We've been watching some of those punches that he connected in the first fight, and I wasn't there. I wasn't in the first fight. I didn't know Anthony Joshua then. But when I came to camp, not one, not two, but everybody in camp, including Anthony, have told me that was the worst camp he's ever had. That it was just a camp that he didn't. It was he wasn't there. So if he had such a bad training camp, sparring was horrible. They tell me the sparring partners that we have are some that were the same guys, and they're telling the same thing. The first fight, it was he wasn't training. It was easy work for us. Now it's a lot harder. Now he's punching hard. Now he's aggressive. So just by that itself, he still managed to win like 4 rounds out of the 4-5 rounds. Some of the judges gave him. One judge I think gave him 5 rounds. But he won a few rounds and landed some really good punches where I think stunned Usyk a few times. A couple times with a straight right hook. So if he was able to do that on one of his worst days and maybe Usyk's best performance, well, what makes me think that he can do it now with a great training camp, a different mentality, different team behind him, even though there's a lot of same people, but different voice, a new voice, and I think he wants to prove it too. So do I think he could knock him out? 100%. I'm 100% positive that he could knock him out.
Robert Garcia, thank you very much for your time, and we'll speak post-fight hopefully.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, I put my dad in the street against a heavyweight.
I've gone back to the dad. I've punched him a few more
There's
times.
5 blokes outside my front door. Can you come and help
One
me?
hell of a fucking story, so stay tuned.
Welcome, Team Everlast, to the Team Everlast Fitness app. Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.